So here we are looking at writing essay questions, written answers for history. Level 1 history, describe the causes and consequences of an historical event. And this is the 2017 paper. And the question and the instructions are contained here. Now, in my first, one of the early workshops, I asked the class what their history teachers had told them about writing history essays. And one young guy put up his hand and said, ATBQ, answer the bloody question. And I said, is that all I told you? He said, yes. He assured me that was all. And a few days later, I sat in a cafe with another history teacher this time, and she agreed. That is the key thing. So the basic point, to answer the question, you need to read the question carefully. So here we have, write an essay on one historical event which you have studied this year using the essay question below. There is the question. Your chosen historical event should be a specific event in time or a historical movement or development. Your essay must include an introduction and a conclusion and use supporting evidence. You should provide context for your discussion in a detailed paragraph or two describing the event. So the first thing is to write your chosen historical event in the box below. So I've got 5 tips. So the first tip, name the event with a date. Even though it doesn't specifically ask you for a date, put it in there. Now, we're going to look now at the structure of an essay, and with the introduction, the conclusion. And the question says, identify and describe 2 main causes of your chosen historical event. What were the 2 main consequences of the event for people and or groups? Just need to watch the detail there, whether that's people and groups. And as I indicated in the previous video, you need to have a clear understanding of the causes and consequences, how they fit together. This is a hypothetical outline to answer this question. So, first point, just a reminder, you need to have an introduction and a conclusion. So that is this paragraph here and this paragraph here. So the introduction includes the context, as we saw in the question. Provide context for your discussion in a detailed paragraph. So make sure there is adequate detail. And you might then like to list the causes that you are going to discuss. So a third tip is to use the wording of the question. In your answer, use the wording of the question. So the question says, identify and describe 2 main causes. You would write down the 2 main causes I am going to discuss are A and B. The 2 main consequences I am going to discuss are A and B. So use the wording of the question wherever you can in your paragraph. So your introduction, cause 1, cause 2. You might add a little bit more in the middle. Your consequences, consequence 1, consequence 2, and your conclusion. So you could start off, the first main cause of the depression was blah, blah, blah. Constantly, as you work through this, include supporting evidence. Just a reminder, supporting evidence could include names, dates, things people said when they said them, examples of things, statistics or case studies. They could be quotes from newspaper articles and so on. How you actually do that is beyond our little video today, but the first thing, early on and whenever you can, look at good models and you'll start to find out how to write this up and clearly and accurately provide supporting evidence for your assertions. The last tip that I have at this stage is, in everything you write, stay on topic. When your history teacher says to you, answer the bloody question, he or she is also saying, don't answer other questions. Stick to the topic, stick to what you're being asked to write on. All right, as a final little summary, we have read the question, answer the question. Provide always sufficient detail to enable to produce a good answer. You can't afford to be vague. To say there was anger between different groups in the Irish Troubles. Say who the groups were and describe what the anger was and how it worked out. Provide sufficient detail. Second last reminder, quote your sources. And as I said, they can be from people or statistics or newspaper articles and so on. And the final challenge for writing essays of this type is demonstrating the links between the causes of an event and the event and the consequences. Showing these links with detail and with clarity. Now, just as a point of specific reference to this example, these are the comments from the markers. Details required for a merit grade, and in the particular example they're saying the first course has little accompanying detail. Some statistical figures given provides detail for the second course. There is a lot more detail that could have been included. In general, both causes and consequences need to be detailed. Detail could include the use of people, places, dates and statistics, and it could also include the detailed linking of a cause to an event. Linking is important. The statements you make, the supporting evidence is important, and everything to achieve well needs to be done in good detail.